Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dilawar Khan. I am Associate Professor at Department of Economics, Kohat University of Science and Technology. Econ 532 Advanced Econometric Techniques and Forecasting is a Pell level course having 3 credit hours. Today we take lecture number 7. The topic is arch models and risk return analysis. Outcomes of this lecture. After covering this lecture, you should be able to understand the concept of conditional variance, understand the autoregressive conditional heteroscedasticity model, perform a test for arch effect, and use data to estimate the arch models. Reference book for this lecture is Applied Econometrics 3rd edition, written by Stereo and G. Hall. Outlines of this lecture: recap of the assumption of classical linear regression model. So first we discuss assumption of the classical linear regression model. Then we will discuss the autoregressive conditional heteroscedasticity model, testing for arch effects and the data, an empirical illustration of arch model using Stato program. So first we discuss what are the assumptions of classical linear regression model. We have certain assumptions of classical linear regression models. If these assumptions are violated, then we face major econometric problem, and then we cannot rely on the estimated results and the hypothesis will be misleading. So first assumption of classical linear regression model: the dependent variable as a linear function of explanatory variables. So here we examine the association between dependent and explanatory variables, and these relationship must be linear. Assumption number 2: linear parameter and correct model specification. So the parameter of classical linear regression model must be linear and the model must be correctly specified. If the assumption number 3rd, the independent and identically distributed error terms. So the error term must be independent and identically distributed with zero mean and constant variance. So here EI, this is the residual terms for the ith cross sectional. This must be independent, identically distributed with zero mean and constant variance. Assumption number 4, the variance must be constant. One of the assumptions of classical linear regression model is homoscedasticity. Homo means constant and scedasticity means spreadness. So the variance must be constant for all time period. If this assumption is violated, then we face the problem of heteroscedasticity and we cannot rely on the estimated results. So here variance of the residual terms, this is equal to sigma square, must be constant for all time period. This is our null hypothesis, and the alternative hypothesis that the variance of the residual terms is not constant for all time period, and this is called the heteroscedasticity. Assumption number 5, there must be no exact linear relationship between or among the explanatory variables. The correlation between xi and xj, this must be equal to 0, and the alternative hypothesis is the correlation between xi and xj is not equal to 0. So here in the null hypothesis we have no multicollinearity, and the alternative hypothesis we have multicollinearity. So if we have the exact linear relationship between or among the explanatory variable, then we face severe multicollinearity problem. Assumption number 6, there are no exact linear relationship between or among the residual terms. So we discuss what is autocorrelation. Autocorrelation is the relationship between or among the residual terms, and we have different degree of autocorrelation. First order autocorrelation or higher order autocorrelation. First order autocorrelation means that if there is relationship between two residual terms, the correlation between ut and uj, this is equal to 0. If this assumption is violated, then we face the problem of serial correlation. Now we discuss autoregressive conditional heteroscedasticity model. Recent development in financial econometrics have led to the use of models and techniques that can model the attitude of investors not only toward expected returns but also towards risk or uncertainty. These require models that are capable of dealing with the volatility or variance of the series. So, conventional econometric analysis views the variance of the error term as being constant over time. In the previous slides, we have discussed one of the assumptions of classical linear regression model, that is homoscedasticity, that the variances must be constant over time. If this assumption is violated, then we face the problem of heteroscedasticity, and mostly in financial data, the variances are not constant over time. However, financial and economic time series exhibit period of high volatility followed by period of low volatility. Estimation of daily stock returns. The stock indices are used to determine the daily returns at time t using the following formula. So here, returns at time t is equal to natural log pt divided by pt minus 1. Here, ln, this is natural log, pt and pt minus 1 denote indices, prices at current and previous day respectively. Now look at financial data of Pakistan Stock Exchange at below figure. Along the vertical axis, we have the stock return. Along the horizontal axis, we have time period. This is plot of the returns of Pakistan Stock Exchange 100 Index from 7th October 1999 to May 31st 2016. So here you can see that at some time period, these periods, here we have high volatility, but at some time period we have low volatility. So here we conclude that here the variances are not constant over time, and we face the problem of heteroscedasticity. There are certain periods that have high volatility than others. So here assumption of the homoscedasticity is violated, and we face the problem of heteroscedasticity. And patterns of the variance depend on its history. So it is necessary to examine the behavior of the conditional variance. Now we discuss the autoregressive conditional heteroscedasticity model. Engel's model suggests that variance of the residual term at time t depends on the square error terms from the past period. So it is better to model both the mean and variance of a series. Consider the following simple model. Here yt, this is dependent variables, xt are explanatory variables, a and beta prime, these are called parameters, and ut, this is called the residual terms. So here we assume that ut is independently distributed with zero mean and constant variance. If the residual term is not independently distributed with zero mean and constant variance, then we face the problem of heteroscedasticity. So here ut, this is the residual term at time t, is independent and identically distributed with zero mean and constant variance. We have different models of arch. The first model is arch 1 model. Engel's idea began by allowing variance to depend on one lag period of square error terms. and this is the basic Arch-1 model. It means that the dependent variable at time t is correlated with previous year value. So it is simultaneously models the mean and variance of the series and having the following specification. Here we have two equations. One is the mean equation, this is the mean equation, and this is called the variance equation. HT, this denotes the variance at time t, and this is square of the residual term at time t minus 1. So if variance at time t is correlated with square of the residual term at time t minus 1, then this is Arch-1 model. And if variance at time t is correlated with previous year square of the residual term, then this is Arch-2 model. Now we will discuss the Arch-Q1 model. Conditional variance can depend not just on one leg realization but on more than one. It simultaneously model the mean and variance of the series and having the following specification. So here HT is the function of square of the residual term at time t minus 1, square of the residual term at time t minus 2 up to square of the residual term at time t minus q. In summation form, gamma naught plus j from 1 up to qth, gamma j u square t minus j. Here gamma naught, this is the intercept on. So if j is equal to 1 and q is equal to 1, then we have Arch-1 model. If j is equal to 1, q is equal to 2, then we have Arch-2 model. And then it can be written as gamma naught plus gamma 1 u square t minus 1 plus gamma 2 u square t minus 2. The estimated coefficient of the gammas are positive for positive variance. Now we discussed how to perform test for arch effect. In order to get appropriate model for the estimation of arch model instead of ordinary least square method, so it is necessary to look for the possible arch effect in the data. This test can be done using the procedures of the Brush-Pagan test. This test entails estimation of the following mean equation. Here yt is the dependent variable, a and beta prime are called parameters, and xt are the explanatory variable, and ut is the residual terms. So first we estimate this equation by the ordinary least square method, and then we run the following auxiliary regression. Here u square at time t is the function of u square time t minus 1 plus u square t minus 2 minus 3 up to u square t minus q. And wt, this is called the residual terms. If we have Arch-1 effect, then u square at time t is the function of u square time t minus 1. And if we have the Arch-2 model, then u square time t is the function of u square t minus 1 and u square t minus 2, so on and so forth. Then from this auxiliary regression, this is estimated by ordinary least square method, and then we compute the chi-square calculated value. As this test follows the chi-square distribution, here n is number of observation, this is coefficient of determination. Number of observation multiplied with coefficient of determination, this is called chi-square calculated value. And then we take the chi-square tabulated value from the chi-square table for certain degree of freedom. So here we fit our null and alternative hypothesis, Here the null hypothesis is that sigma 1, sigma 2 up to sigma q is equal to 0, that we have homoscedasticity, that we have no arch effect in the data. The test statistic follows the chi-square distribution having k degree of freedom. Then we take the decision rule and compare the chi-square calculated value with chi-square tabulated value for k degree of freedom. If the chi-square calculated value is greater than chi-square tabulated value, then we reject this null hypothesis of homoscedasticity and accept the alternative hypothesis of heteroscedasticity and conclude that there is arch effect in the data. The results of arch test using data of Pakistan Stock Exchange. First column shows arch test, F statistic and chi-square calculated value is 358.16 and its probability value is less than 0.01. So as the chi-square calculated value is greater than chi-square tabulated value, so we reject the null hypothesis of homoscedasticity and accept the alternative hypothesis of heteroscedasticity and conclude that there is arch effect in the data.